said, yes, I can. But he went a little further as to tell me how. And he just said, I'm working on my takedown defense and scrambling back to my feet. And I specifically said, so you do not plan to be in the guard? And he said, no, I don't believe that I can submit him.
We've got two very fast heavyweights here. Both of these guys are already moving at speed.
Well, one of the questions I had about Nemkov is carrying this extra weight, would it affect the way that he moves? And at least early here, it doesn't appear that it will.
Okay, here's that defense. Now we got to turn into the scramble.
Bruno right back to his feet after briefly touching the mat with that hip. Nemkov chest to chest, pressing him against this smart cage barrier. Tries to offer up an elbow. Bruno uses that to switch position.
Big
now
deal.
He's got underhooks.
Big deal how quickly he turned that position, put the back of Nemkov up against the fence. Look, I really think if Bruno can nullify the wrestling, that's going to be his greatest opportunity to win. It's an uphill battle, but Bruno, make no mistake, Bruno can win this fight.
Interestingly, he had double underhooks there for a moment, and he decided to break clear. Tried to check that calf kick then, that'd be wise. Don't want to take too much damage on that lead leg.
And Nemkov has already started to try and bank some work there, and Bruno doesn't want any more of it.
It's a fast jab from Nemkov, straight through the hands. Oh, lovely work.
Big one there, did Bruno Capoloza. Nemkov staying in form with this transition to the heavyweight division. Another 1-2, snaps the head back of Capoloza.
When you have an athlete like Nemkov in this case, who's carrying an extra 40 pounds in between weigh-ins. His previous weigh-in was 205, this one was 245. You do wonder yourself, where's my speed gonna be? How am I gonna move my feet, and will my conditioning hold up? So there is some questions that Nemkov's got to answer to himself.
What's incredible is that he looks like he's moving the same way that he did as a light heavyweight. It looks like the majority of the weight has been packed onto his back, his latissimus dorsi. Powerful individual.
Fedor Emelianenko in the corner of his protege, Vadim Nemkov. In his prime. Many thought the best in the world. And if anyone had had the creativity of the PFL brass back then, we would have seen Randy Couture and Fedor and put that debate to bed.
That was a nice jab to the body for a moment there from Nemkov, and there's the head kick. Same one that he used to walk Ryan Bader on when he was able to beat him.
What's impressed me most about Nemkov's attacks so far is that he's mixing them up and he's timing them so that Bruno can't get going. Nemkov knows that if he lets Bruno put combinations together, it's so incredibly dangerous. He's timing his attacks, threatening with the kicks, so that Bruno has to stay defensive.
And it's all coming off the footwork, right? There's a distinction as you watch these two in the outlay of footwork. That's what always happens when you have a smaller guy that moves up. When you have a heavyweight that fights like a light heavyweight, you have this good movement and a lot crisper shots. There's a cross.
That was a beautiful uppercut attempt there. The speed of Nemkov seems to be causing a lot of problems for Capoloza.
Oh, twist to the ankle there. Nemkov appears to shake it off.
Capoloza's throwing to try and get to Nemkov, and he's being countered by very fast punches. And that jab is starting to bloody the nose as well.
Bruno's got to circle himself off the cage. Nemkov can use that space, eat it up really quick with a shot. Followed up the lead hook with a high kick attempt. Nemkov starting to put those combinations together. Going upstairs again after working on the lead leg.
Nemkov, every time he does a jab, he has a beautiful straight open to the body. A power hand right to the body. He's not taking it. But I noticed that our outlaw Dan Hardy did mention before the fight some good straight to the body, and they sure are open for Nemkov here. I suspect his corner will tell him between rounds.
Well, what we're seeing, the solution that Capoloza's using for the jab is to lean away, which of course gets the head out of range, but it presents the abdomen, the midsection. If Nemkov can throw that jab out there, get the response, and then put that cross into the solar plexus, that could be very, very damaging.
There's the end of round number one. Round two begins. Bruno Capoloza, former PFL heavyweight champion, against Vadim Nemkov, a new heavyweight, but a longtime veteran of the Bellator cage. and light heavyweight champion who vacated his title. He didn't lose it. He vacated it to pursue heavyweight glory. Catches a kick, offers one up to the neck of Bruno Capoloza, who's bouncing a little more in the early goings here. Ate a right hand from Nemkov, though.
It's so fast, that 1-2, and this is why Nemkov can transition up to heavyweight. He's got enough power to do damage, but the speed to make the difference.
Bruno a little bit more willing to engage when they get close here in round number 2. I think that's good cornering. Switch to the southpaw stance very briefly. Corner appeared not to like it.
I think the reason is it opens up the rear kick for Nemkov, which is a very powerful weapon for him.
1 minute gone in round number 2. Bruno stays just outside the range of that 1-2. And now finally has Nemkov on the retreat a little bit, but now Bruno once again backing away.
But if we look at the difference between their defense, when Nemkov throws that jab cross, Capoloza moves away. When Capoloza steps in with a jab cross, oh, that was a
right hand
counter.
sneaks through.
What a difference a moment can make.
And that's why Bruno Capoloza is so dangerous. But of course, Nemkov, a veteran of this sport, level changes, picks up his heavyweight opponent, drops into the mat and right into half guard.
Wrestle under pressure. Gets you out of sticky situations sometimes. I wish I had some wrestling.
He needed that. That was wise. He took a big shot. He needed that. He needs right now, get a couple of breathers in. I'd like to have seen Bruno put a ton of effort into a big scramble.
Very little from the bottom in way of control in the half guard here. Potentially Capoloza's tempting Nemkov to pass his guard so he can scramble.
It looks as though he's setting him up, right? I see that as well.
Oh, arm triangle. This looks deep.
And a tight squeeze here from Vadim Nemkov, who's fully mounted.
He's off to the side now. He's chucked with his knee.
He's got that.
Bruno is out! Vadim Nemkov with a heavyweight debut and submission victory!
Wow, what an impressive performance. What an